What's good, Wizards fans? It's your host, the real Ed Oliver, with my guy Brandon Scott. The Wizards beat the Magic 138 to 118. 7 guys in double figures, and Rui drops 30 points. Let's get to it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's prizepicks.com, promo code Locked On. All right, so the Wizards skunked the Magic 138 to 118. The Wizards are now 20-26. 7 guys in double figures. DeLon Wright was huge off the bench, and Rui with 30 points. Of course, we're going to talk about Rui's comments after the game, the press conference, when they asked him about trade rumors. But on the positive side of the game from Saturday, what was your biggest reason why the Wizards won? What was your main takeaways from the Wizards game against the Magic?
I'm going to say ball movement. Ball movement was a key factor of us winning this game. If you look at the stats, we got 34 assists. And those 34 assists led to better three-point shooting. If you look at three-point shooting, we shot 53%, which, if you look at this, past, this season, we're not, we show that we struggle from three. But lately, especially this game, we showed out on the perimeter, 53% with this team. So that shows the potential for this team with fluent ball movement. 34 assists, and then the three-point shooting shows 53%. So if I narrow down to one thing, it would be ball movement. The lack of ISO ball, the lack of hero ball. When this team plays like a team and ball movement is fluid, they have performances like this. Looking at the numbers, Kuz, 25 points, man, 10 rebounds, 9 for 20 from the field, and 5 from 11 from the three-point arc. So Kuz was on the mark. He was rolling, man. KP, 17 points. From the field, he's 3 from 10, 1 from 3 from the three. He left with the ankle injury, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But overall, with the starting unit, the starting unit showed out. Monte Morris, 10 points, 6 assists. So Monte is really settling into the starting point guard role. He's really getting into the role of being a distributor, and it shows. He's played a lot better within the last couple of weeks. And then Bradley Beal, the real deal Bill, 17 points, 8 assists. So assist numbers up. He shot 7 for 14, so he's 50% from the field, 2 from 3 from the three-point arc. So the starting unit, it works. We said it time and time again. This taller lineup works. They play well together. Now looking at the second unit, that's been the issue lately. Rui wasn't an issue. He led all scorers, 30 points. He shot 13 from 22. So he was very efficient. And that's the name of the game for Rui. Efficiency and scoring has never been his issue. He showed out. Obviously we're going to talk about the trade rumors, but you better believe the trade rumors had a lot to do with his performance. He's feeling a certain kind of way. But, he showed out. But outside, DeLon Wright, 15 points, 8 assists. Again, shout out to DeLon, really running that second unit. But Kispert, kind of a non-factor. He did shoot 3 for 4 from the field, but 8 points. Underwhelming. Taj, 2 points, 3 rebounds. So he was kind of a non-factor. And then Denny. He's 0 points from 0 from 5 from the field. So Denny has been cold. Denny has not been his best self. Lately, he's been struggling a lot. But Rui, going back to Rui, other than ball movement, I would say that Rui and Kuz were the 2 biggest factors for this win, because Rui's points off the bench and Kuz doing what Kuz does, especially with Bradley Beal ramping up. I think those are the 2 guys really this win you can kind of attribute to. So overall, great team win, man. Great team win.
Yeah, definitely ball movement was huge. The Magic played zone. They had a lot of big guys. They had Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter, Paolo Banchero. Excuse me, I'm probably butchering his name. Paolo Banchero, who's a really good player. Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner. So the Magic, they have a lot of bigs, and they're just slow. Bowl as well. So they have a lot of bigs that are slow-footed that can't really move out there on the perimeter. So I think their coach, Mosley, decided to play zone, and the Wizards took advantage of it. Kyle Kuzma was hot from 3. He had 4 threes. He had 3 threes in a row. He had 5 threes This was one of his better games. He had another double, 25 and 10. He was hot from the 3-point line. He's been kind of hot or cold from the three, but the last couple of games he's hit at least 4 threes in the last 3 or 4 games. So Kuzma was huge. And the bench was huge, like you said. Rui, man, the one dribble pull up when he does the pump fake and just takes the dribble in, and he just simplifies his game. He's not dribbling the ball too much or thinking too much. That's when he's at his best, and he got hot. They couldn't stop him. He was getting to the basket as well in transition. So great all-around game from Rui on Saturday night. 5 boards. Want to see him rebound the ball more, but I'm fine with the way he contributed to the win. And when they went on their runs, Rui did a good job of knocking down shots and stopping the Magic from getting on runs when they were trying to come back. But the solid 3 looked good, man. The ball was moving, the ball was popping. No over dribbling from Brad. He had 8 assists. He found open guys. He found DeLon Wright open. He found Kuzma open, Rui open. He was really dishing the ball to other guys. And he's kind of, coming back slowly. He's not trying to force the issue, which is good. Coming back from the hamstring injury. He's not going out there trying to score 30 points. He's just trying to find his teammates, which is the best way for him to get back into the lineup and back acclimated. Porzingis played well, too. Unfortunately, the ankle injury, 17 points. If he would have played the whole game, probably would have had at least 20 points for sure. But I thought Porzingis was good to start off the game, dominated in the post. And Gafford, too, man. He was huge, man. 14 points, 8 boards. I want to see how many blocks he had, but he had a huge block on Mo Wagner. The only block that he had on Mo Wagner. He actually fouled out of the game, too. He got hurt and came back in, but he actually fouled out. He was a plus 18. Kuzma was a plus 19. Rui was a plus 20. DeLon Wright was a plus 20. DeLon Wright was wreaking havoc. He had 8 assists, 3 steals. He was just a menace and just being a pest out there as well. So the bench was huge, man. We had, 45? Kisper with 8 points. 45 plus 8 is 53. Plus 2, 7, 57 bench points. And we're 7-3 when we hit at least 18 threes, or at least 15 threes. And I know we talked about, is this sustainable? But they've been hot from the 3-point line, man. I don't know how sustainable it is. We'll see what happens against the Mavericks in the next couple of games, but they're shooting really, really well from the 3-point line. And when they move the ball, it just helps them shoot better from the 3-point line. 52% from the free throw line. From the 3-point line, 34 assists. Like you said, 8 turnovers, only 8 turnovers. This is a good all-around game. I have nothing really negative to say. Yes, Denny did struggle. See, the thing is, Denny will have a good game, and then Rui will have a bad game, and then Rui will have a really good game, and Denny will struggle. So it's just a weird dynamic with our young guys. Denny had 0 points, but he did have some hustle plays. There's one time where he dove on the floor, got the ball, passed it up to Kuz, and Kuz found Gafford for a dunk. So Denny struggled from the field for sure. 0 for 5, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. I just don't. We talked about him working out with Drew Hanlon, but it's still his 3-point shot is just still a work in progress. It's still. It's still a work in progress for sure. So, we'll see if he can ever become a 35% 3-point shooter in the league. If not, at least he can help out on the defensive side of the ball. But DeLon Wright, once again, I thought he was the X factor of the game. 5 for 5, 3 for 3 from the 3-point line. And then Rui, of course, was the player of the game because he just took over at one point. And Monte Morris has been playing a lot better too. I got to give him some credit too because we gave him a very hard time to start off the year. But he's playing good ball, man. I got to give him his credit. He's come in and he's playing a lot better in this second part of the season, 10 points and 6 assists.
Yeah, this team shows, really this win shows that when this team plays as a team, when ball movement is fluid, they're a good team. You see the talent on this team. I think the biggest issue with this team is consistency. Can they consistently put up these type of performances? And very often we have not been very consistent. But again, this win shows that when we play as a team, this is a really, really good team. Going back to Morris, yeah, we were really hard on Monte, man. And but he's really starting to fill into the starting role, man. He really is. Distributing. He doesn't have to drop 15 to 20 points because you got the solid 3. He's really get into the role of being a floor general. So I really have nothing negative to say about Monte and the way he's been playing lately. And I didn't talk about Gav, man. Gav, 14 points, 8 boards. So this lineup works, man. This taller lineup works. So going towards the deadline, does my priorities for what I'm looking for on this team change? I guess a little bit. I'm not too concerned about point guard. I guess long term you do want that point guard, but like I said, Monte, you're not dependent on him to really shoulder that load offensively. And with him running the offense and running the first unit the way he is, I have no problem with him being the guy right now. I have no problem with that going into next year. I don't, because he's really settled into that role. So I guess 3-and-D wing is still something that we need, and maybe slide Kuz back to the 4. And we're going to talk about Rui in a little bit anyway. But going to the deadline, I feel a lot better about the squad, man. It's just consistency. If they can be consistent, then they're a really good team. So yeah, again, man, I have nothing negative to say about this team, man. Going into Orlando, or not in Orlando, but going against Orlando and having this performance, this is the wins you want, because we're neck to neck with Orlando right now. So to really kind of separate from that group of the lower tier teams, we got to beat these Orlando. Because if you look at the next 5, man, 3 out of the next 5, and with this road trip coming up, 3 out of the next 5 are under 500 teams. So we have a chance to kind of make up ground, because as we stand, we're at a 20-26, 11th in the East. So I feel like with this road trip coming up, man, this is the Wizards' chance to kind of make up ground. But yeah, overall, man, this was a beautiful team victory. But again, my only thing is this: consistency, especially going to this road trip. Consistency. So yeah, great team win.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we'll see if they upgraded the point guard position. I do think they could use another guy that can get to the paint more, that is more explosive, more athletic. But I like the way that Monte's been playing the last couple of games for sure. But like you said, consistency, and this is a game we were supposed to win. The Magic, they are a lottery team. The Wizards are a lottery team too right now too. So I can't really say the Wizards are way better than the Magic. I can't say that at all. But that was a win that they should have won, and they took care of business. So I'm happy that they took care of it, and they beat the Knicks too. The Knicks are a legitimate playoff team this year. But like you said, the Wizards are 1.5 games out of the 10th spot. We're gonna get to Rui now, but before we do that, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, super easy. You just pick 2 to 6 players. You pick over under. Tomorrow night, if Bradley Beal plays, his over under will probably be 19 points. We play the Mavericks, so probably be Spencer Dinwiddie guarding him, so you might want to take the over on that. But Bradley Beal, he's still coming back from the injury, so who knows? But Kuz has been hot. That's one guy I may take the over on his points. His points are usually 22, or you can take the over on 3-pointers made. That's just an example of over-unders or projections taking more or less. Kuz has been hot from the 3, so if his over-under is 2.5 threes, I would definitely take the over on that. So it's super easy. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go score more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, college football, cricket, and more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operating in over 30 states and Canada. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, Prize Picks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. All right, so we're gonna finally get to the Rui news here in the press conference. I just got to put up the quote here. I want to say it was The Athletic that asked him after the game on Saturday night against the Magic. It was basically giving John Wall vibes that he answered no comment. So Josh Robbins tweeted this. He said, tonight when The Athletic asked Rui if he asked the Wizards to trade him, Hachimura answered no comment. Then he also asked him, he asked Rui if a trade is something he wants. He paused for several seconds and answered, I don't know. What were your thoughts about that? I'm going to pull up some other quotes here too that I found, but did you see the interview? And if you did, what were your other thoughts? Oh, this is the other one. This is from Matthew Paris as well. I want to say he works for the Richmond Times Dispatch. He also does Commanders news as well. He says, Rui Hachimura quote says, I just want to be somewhere that wants me as a basketball player. I want to be somewhere that likes my game, you know. I know that every coach is not going to like my game. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be somewhere that trusts and believes in me, end quote. And then he also asked if that's true about the trade rumors are asking about the trade. He says, Rui says, I don't know. We're going to find out. And if you watch the interview too, Rui's kind of laughing a lot during the interview, and the media was laughing with him. So what were your thoughts about his answers, and what were your thoughts about the questions for Rui?
I mean, I did watch the interview, and I'm going to say this. I think it highlights two people. Wes Unseld, and Tommy Shepard. This is not the first time we've heard about issues with Wes Unseld in the locker room. And look, these players know what it is. They know the NBA is a business. They know that you could be traded, you could be let go, and the fact that he's had this type of response, that it says a lot about the culture with the Wizards. You guys are getting mad for a reason. If you look at last year, we often said that depth can be a good thing till it's not. Last year it became an issue. There was locker room issues. You had people fighting. And, so his response to this whole situation is a little alarming because, you know, I'm this is my problem with it, man. We have issues bringing guys to DC. That's always been our issues, bringing free agents into DC. And there's a reason for that because it's just you continue to have these issues in the locker room. There were a couple of reports about Rui. The comments were kind of aimed towards what Sunset a little bit, and it kind of mirrors what you heard from Spencer Dinwiddie, Trez last year, and players in the past. Just that culture thing, that the culture with this team, and it spotlights that a little bit, in my opinion, and that's the issue. There's a reason why free agents don't want to come here. The management, and then that's a whole nother episode talking about the problems with the culture of this team, because you can attribute that to a little bit to Bradley Beal, with him having a little bit of responsibility over moves being made. I believe that the GM should be allowed to be the GM. Let Brad be the guy, but should he be in the GM's office having choices on moves? I don't think so. I think that's part of the problem right there, and I think that's what rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I don't think they really were transparent with Rui. I don't like how they treated Rui in this whole situation. I'm gonna be honest with you because, I mean, but on the flip side, you can't say this, right? He's had his injury issues. He does have his shortcomings on the defensive end, but he's a young guy who can contribute. He can start, and to get rid of the guy, and that's another thing that you bring up, is that we don't bring back the guys we draft. Why are we letting this guy go? And then you got Kuz, who his value is through the roof right now. I mean, Rui, he's more efficient. I don't get it, man. And that's my thoughts about it. Is that I honestly think it's a bad move to move him. I really do. I think if you move anybody, it will be Denny. Now I get it. With Rui going into restricted free agency, that has a lot to do with it, and I get that. But now I'm not a fan of potentially moving him. I'm just not. I think that you got to kind of explore what you can get for Kuz. Now I know Kuz is popular. If you look at the solid three, they've been playing well, but with going into the deadline, man, we need to solidify this second unit. We need some bench pieces, because if you're going to go forward with this tall lineup, we got to get some more guys on this bench unit. Because I think Barton's just not the guy, and I like to see more Jordan Goodwin. So yeah, getting back to the comments with Rui, man, I think it really puts a spotlight on Wes, because on the outside looking in, I don't think these guys are responding to Wes. We've always complained about Wes Unseld being too quiet, not being, really in the players' faces, not holding anybody accountable, and then people looking at the whole situation with Bradley Beal, with him having a little too much power. So it's rubbing people the wrong way. So yeah, and a long story cut short, my bad, y'all, is I believe it spotlights some internal issues for this team.
No, I mean, it's definitely something that happened last year. Now, Rui saying no comment definitely reminds me of the John Wall situation. I don't think it's as bad as that, though. Now, Rui, I think when the report came out that they wanted to trade him for Jay Crowder, and there was another report saying that's not true, I think that was 100% true. I think Rui knows this. The way Rui was playing in his body language against the Knicks, he obviously knew about this. But I got to commend him for being a professional and playing well against the Magic last night, putting up 30 points. I hope that pushes up his trade value. I hope we just get somebody good in return. Because like you said, the bench, man, we just don't have a lot of scoring off the bench. We don't have a lot of production off the bench. And like you said, Jordan Goodwin, he's on the G League team right now. Other than DeLon Wright, I mean, Taj Gibson, he plays well, but he's not going to score for you off the bench. We just don't have a lot of shot creators, guys that can create shots for themselves. And Rui is really good at that. He's a very talented offensive player. Say what you want about his defense, say what you want about his rebounding, but when we need points and buckets, which is what you need off the bench and scoring, Rui certainly does that. You look at the record with Rui when he plays this year, we're 17-13 when Rui plays. Now, your best ability is your availability. I do think last year really, really hurt him when he missed games for personal reasons, and then Kuzma came in and he kind of basically took his spot. Kuzma became a starter. Kuzma took the bull by his horns. Kuzma had a heck of a season last year, and Kuzma's having a good year as well. Kuzma's a good passer, he's a good rebounder, he can score, and then now he's a part of the solid three. And this is basically what Ted wants. Every time they're marketing something, it's with Kuz in it. The hats at the Clippers game that we went to. Kuzma designed the hats. You got a Kuz bobblehead night, so you can just see where the direction of the team is going. The reports are saying that they really, Mark Stein said it, that they really, really want to keep Kuz. So if you want to keep Kuz and you want to keep Porzingis, and Ted wants to make the playoffs or the play-in, that's the goal for the Wizards. Then they just don't have the means to pay Rui and Kuz and Porzingis and stay under the luxury tax. So it comes down to the money aspect. I hate to see it. I understand the move, but they better get somebody good in return. They better get a decent point guard. It doesn't have to be an all-star point guard. Of course, they're not going to get an all-star point guard for Rui. That's just not his trade value. I don't even know if you would get a first. I don't think you would get a first-round pick for Rui at this point because of the injuries and because of the availability and because of the defense and the defensive awareness. But he's going to go to a different team. He's going to go to maybe the Suns with Chris Paul, who Chris Paul is going to make him better. Maybe the Miami Heat, where Pat Riley and that organization, they would definitely make him better. I feel like he's going to end up being another Wizards player, where he goes to a different team, and he probably in the next 2 to 3 years he wins a championship, and he's a heck of a role player or a heck of a player and a key piece to that team. And that's just how I see it going. But as far as West, yeah, I think he definitely took some shots at the organization, saying that he wants to be with a team where a team wants him, and then him saying no comment and laughing. I don't think he requested a trade. I don't know if he did or not, but obviously you see the team wants to trade him anyway. So he doesn't even have to request a trade. It looks like the team just was ready to move on anyway. So yeah, I hate to see it in this way because he's a very talented player. But yeah, I mean, we don't keep our picks. The last pick that we re-signed to an extension was Otto Porter, and that was back in 2015, 16. Bradley Beal, John Wall, and that's it. We traded away Kelly Oubre, Johnny Davis, who knows, Denny, who knows, Corey Kispert, who knows. In the next couple of years, it doesn't really look promising for an extension for those guys. They've been very inconsistent as well. I'm trying to think of some other first-round picks that we had, but I can't even remember other than Kelly Oubre, because I know we traded away a couple picks. But the point is, and Rui had another quote as well that I had up, that I sent to you. This one was from the Washington Post article. He says, quote, "It's been up and down. I feel like as a team," Hachimura said Saturday when asked to describe the season. Even for me, I had an injury and I had to stay away for like a month. It was tough for me to come back from the injury and all that. I don't know. I think we have good pieces, but somehow someone's got to put everything together. Culture, question mark. I feel like that's the one thing I can say. It's just hard for all of us. It's not the place that we want to be, but I think it's going to be fine, end quote. So, yeah, it just looks like, and Wes never started him. Rui's definitely capable of being a starter. He's top 5 in double-digit games off the bench between him and Benedict Mathurin. And I want to say Jordan Poole as well. So Rui's a legitimate scorer. He's definitely going to help another team for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Wherever he goes, if he goes to the right system, he's going to flourish. I have no doubt about that. But his comments, they're telling us what we already know, man, which is this is a dysfunctional organization. Because if you're serious about surrounding Bradley Beal with players, Rui's going to ask for less. So why would you trade a guy? You know what I mean? Why would you trade a guy who's going to ask for less and then try to pay a guy 20, 25 million? I mean, here's my thing, man. Number one, if your only goal, and I said this all year, and I'm saying it again, man, if your goal is playing, if your goal is the AC, it's a loser mentality. Do I like the solid 3? Yeah, I like them. But do they really propel this team to the upper echelons of the Eastern Conference? No. So what are we doing? You're really going to pay $100+ million for 3 guys, which don't push you over the edge? And it's going to make, look, Bradley Beal, he makes more money next year. So it's going to be that much harder to surround him with guys. So you're going to pay these 3 guys that amount of money, and then it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. If I'm Tommy, you're moving Kuz because his value is through the roof. You can get some picks back. Maybe you can get a couple of guys to put on the bench. I mean, I don't get it, man. I don't get what their goal is, what the vision is. I don't get it. I just don't. You have a prime time right now to flip two guys who are at their highest when it comes to getting assets for them, KP and Kuz. Can you imagine what you can get for these guys? I mean, look what Rudy Gobert got. Let's be real. He got a lot more than they should have got for him. I mean, they got the works for Rudy Gobert. So you could easily get a couple of picks for Kuz right now. KP, he's proven that he's healthy. So why not flip him and really take that money and take those assets and really build around Bradley Beal? If you indeed really want to build around Bill, but paying three guys that you already know are not going to push you towards contender status makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, man. I really am, because it's just I don't understand the vision. If you want to build around Bill, then why would you trade a guy who, look, Rui's not gonna get $25 to $20 million. Let's be real. So that money could go towards a point guard. That money can go towards a 3D player. And go back to West, man. Look, this is year 2, and this again, we're having issues in the locker room. And when I said earlier, holding people accountable, yeah, because sometimes it feels like the players are running the team. You don't see him really getting on players on the court. You see sometimes, I like Kuz, man, but sometimes he's a little too free with the shot. But you don't see West do anything, man. I'm just gonna leave it there, man. Because it's frustrating, man. Because it really is. Because you see it. There's no vision. We're waiting around for the prospect that Kuz and KP might want to come back. That doesn't make sense to me. Really, we're just gonna wait and see. It doesn't make sense. So I guess before we get into comments, y'all, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are here. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, because they're the #1 sports book in America, FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's even better. They have so many great features that can make betting on sports fun and easy. New customers join today to get started with $150 of free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/locked-on. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to the point spreads to player props. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same game parlay. All on the app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 of free bets, win or lose, at FanDuel.com/locked-on. Every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And really, this is my go-to, man. So definitely, I'm a parlay guy. Sometimes it comes back to bite me, but I definitely recommend FanDuel. So moving on, we're going to hit the comments real quick. Definitely appreciate everybody showing up here Sunday. Started out. Champ, what's up, man? He says, what's up, Papa Ed, Bad Boy Brandon, and it was his family. What's going on, man? Big O, trading Rui is a mistake. Yeah, I think so. I think trading Rui is a mistake because to me, it doesn't make sense. If you're trying to skim money to get more pieces, you're going to keep the player who, look, he's proven he can start, so he can slide in if you move Kuz. That's yeah, it's definitely a mistake. I'll let you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I get why you just can't pay everybody, and it's tough if you want to bring back Chris Apps and Kuzma. Kuz is going to get 20 to 25 million a year. The way he's been playing lately too, if he's hitting 4 or 5 threes a game, give you 25 points and 10 boards, and 7th in voting in the All-Star game, then yeah, he's definitely going to command that from a different team. And yeah, they're playing a risky game with Kuz, man. If they let him go into free agency, and he's kind of wishy-washy, he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna come back. I would like to come back, but I'm not sure. And he goes and signs with the Lakers or the Knicks or just another. I'm just throwing out teams, but if he goes to a bigger market like he's like the reports are saying, then yeah, that could burn the Wizards because you didn't get any value for him when you could have got 2 first-round picks for Kuz. There's a lot of teams. The Suns want Kuz. There's a lot of teams, banging on the table for Kuz because they know his value and they know he can seriously help a playoff team and he can be a key contributor to help a team out. So it would be a big mistake if the Wizards don't get value for Kuz if they know that he doesn't want to come back. So these next couple games, February 9th is coming up very, very soon. So they got to make a decision on him. Rui, the writing's on the wall for that. If they trade him for Jay Crowder, that would be a big mistake. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they get a guard, like a scoring guard, that can come off the bench and help this team out. I think I'm not a fan of it, but I get why. Is it a mistake? Sure, you can say that, but I get it. I get how this business works, And Ted wants to stay under the luxury tax. So if he wants, and clearly he wants Kuz to come back. So they're making a decision to bring Kuz back. And you can't keep both. So it's tough. I got a feeling we're going to see Rui play very, very well on a different team. But if they can keep Kuz, we'll see how that works. But we just know the ceiling with this solid 3. Unless they can get another piece in here to help this team out, then the trajectory is being a playing team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. I mean, you're going to pay all 3 of these guys because hypothetically they want to pay Kuz, KP, and Bill, right? So you're going to have to hustle to build a bench. You're taking. I mean, you're destroying the ability to really build around Bill. And to me, the uncertainty is crazy. You to wait around and bank on the possibility that you might get them back. It doesn't make sense to me when you can flip both of them right now and probably get back players that can help contribute. But by trading Kuz and KP, you're not rebuilding. You're just loosening up the money so you can go out there and find the players to really build around this team. The uncertainty is my problem about it. I believe that Rui's going to go out there and he's going to show out. He really is, because most ex-Wizards do. But that's my problem with it, is that I don't believe that their vision with their. I don't even think they believe what their vision is. This whole wait and see. Hopefully he comes back. It doesn't sit well with me, because look, Tommy Shepard, you get into the offseason, man, and you lose Kuz and KP. That's your job, easy. And Wes, year 2, we already have reports of issues in the locker room. Why not go get a veteran coach? Look, you can't do it. I mean, to me, going to the offseason, find a veteran coach. Somebody said Steve Nash. I would entertain that, but
no.
You wouldn't? You don't like Steve Nash?
You can't do. There's better options out there. Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm with you.
There's a couple better options for sure, rather than Steve Nash. It just didn't work out with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, it was a toxic environment with Kyrie and but you look how Steve Nash got fired and the Nets are just playing so much better. So I wouldn't be able to do Steve Nash.
Yeah, I guess I will go ahead and pump the brakes on Steve Nash. Yeah. But Kenny Atkinson, I can see. But we need a veteran guy that knows how to control the locker room, man. This guy has no idea how to control the locker room. No idea. And before we roll, I know I'm rambling, but this organization, if people want to keep their jobs, they have to do their jobs and let people do their jobs. I don't want Bradley Beal making decisions in the front office. Let Tommy do his job. Tommy did up his game. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there, man. But my issue is this: is that if you want to loosen up money to really build around Bill, why not keep Rui and trade Kuz? And that's where I'm at.
Right. Let me see if there's any other comments here. But we'll probably read some more tomorrow, and then do a preview. But yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to see what they do with Rui. I'm intrigued to see what they get back in return. I don't think they're going to get much back in return, but I just hope they can get a scoring guard in return to help this bench out, because he really is. There's some games where he's really carrying the bench with scoring, because we struggle to find points from the bench unit at all, to be honest. So, but yeah, we just want to thank you guys for tuning in, making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now, for your second listen of the day, make sure you guys check out Game to Game. I listen to it all the time, every day. It's my first go-to after Locked On Wizards. Every moment, every top performance, every result, Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NBA with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, wherever you get podcasts. The Wizards got the dub. Let's see if we can keep it up. We'll preview the Mavericks game tomorrow. Yes, sir. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.